This video is all about how to become a top commercial realtor. Here's the 4 best tips that I can give you if you're brand new in the business and you want to become the next best top commercial realtor in your area. So let's dive right into it. Point number 1, if you're starting out and you're a rookie commercial realtor, the big thing that I would focus on right away is you're going to want to network with some top investors in your area. I like working with investors. It's like my favorite thing in the entire world, and most people who buy commercial real estate are investors. So what's going to happen here is that you're going to network your tail off. You're going to try to find a top group of people who are all looking for commercial real estate, all looking for great investment properties that they can move their money into, right, and get a good return. And what you're going to do is you're going to build a deep relationship with those people and basically focus on how to find the best deals for those individuals. This is going to be basically the simplest thing you can possibly do to get started, because all you're going to focus on is you already have the buyer and they're looking for X, Y, and Z criteria. And if you can just find X, Y, Z criteria, you're going to be able to close some deals. So I've been doing this for years. Started off with single family, then I got into small multifamily. Now it's got into large commercial real estate at this point. So now I already have my buyers. I know what they look for. So as soon as I can find it, I basically close a deal. No problem as soon as I find that new deal. That's why I'm a huge proponent of when it comes to commercial real estate, you basically want to have buyers lined up because the cool part about commercial is that those buyers are probably going to be repeat, right? They're going to be continuously buying more and more product from you, especially if you're working with investors, right? Just like myself. Find some awesome commercial investment buyers. You're going to do some repeat business, get really clear on what they're looking for, and get really good at building a deep relationship with those people so you can do continuous deals with them. Point number 2, you're going to want to focus on off-market product. If it hits the market, it's probably too pricey. If it hits the market, it's probably not going to be a great deal for somebody. If it hits the market, it's probably too late.
Bro, like Henry, how on planet Earth do I find some off-market product?
Just like in a lot of my other videos, even when it comes to commercial, you're going to have to learn how to prospect. You can do some circle prospecting around some certain areas. You can download a software called Realtor, or even using CoStar, which I know all of you should be using. In that software, you'll be able to pull data from X, Y, and Z asset class. You actually can pull any type of data you want. It's really, really simple to do. Make sure you pull data and cold call as much as you can. You can use my script book down in the description down below. I'm constantly updating it with new scripts. So make sure you check that out. Really simple thing you'd be doing is just use the circle prospecting script or the commercial script that I have in there. Point number 3, focus on one asset class at a time. Do not try to become an expert at every single asset class all at the same time. This industry is massive. It's a huge industry. There's so much information to try to learn, and it's going to take you forever to try to learn everything. I like to focus on one asset class, become an expert at that one asset class, multifamily, industrial, office space, retail, land, whatever you want to do, become an expert at that asset class. No, don't get me wrong. That's probably going to be driven by where the buyers that you end up finding. All of a sudden, you end up finding a bunch of buyers who love buying land, as an example. I was just at a meeting where, this was a huge land development project or fund that they're building. What I learned from that is that, listen, every investor thinks one asset class is the best. I know investors who love multifamily. I know investors who like land. I know investors who like development. I know investors who like warehouse. And everyone thinks that stuff is the best. Whoever you end up finding and working with, you're going to lock arms with them and you're going to run for the freaking hills, right? Whatever that investor wants to buy, it could be your niche. Or you could just choose your niche and become an expert at it, and then you're going to try to find buyers, because here's the real quick side note. If you're wondering where to find buyers on CoStar, because you're a commercial agent, you're going to have access to CoStar. And if you don't, you can get access to CoStar or Realtor. See who has bought the most product in each asset class in each area. So again, I live in a town called Red Bank, New Jersey, okay? Red Bank, beautiful town. My family owns a lot of property in town. That's why, why I wanted to be here. I want to be close to my family. I want to be close to my grandparents are still around, so I want to be very close to them. In this town, there's a lot of commercial real estate. So what I could do is that I can go to CoStar and or Realtor. Either software is fine. You can look those softwares up. And I can say, who has bought most multifamily, top 10 people who bought multifamily in Red Bank or Realtor. It doesn't matter. Most retail, most office, most warehouse space, most land, whatever, in Red Bank. I could just find those people and I could cold call them, because both the softwares have all their information on it. Don't overcomplicate how simple this can be. So what's going to happen is that you're going to focus on a niche. You're going to become an expert at it. You're going to understand everything that has to do with that specific niche, and you're going to let everything else stay by the wayside until you're starting to become very successful where you have the time to go in other niches. Point number 4, and my favorite, is practice makes permanent. What I mean by this is 2 things specifically. Number 1, tour a lot of properties. Schedule a lot of showings, tour a lot of properties, because you're going to want to become very comfortable in looking at property. So anytime you see a piece of real estate, let's say you focus on multifamily, anytime a multifamily property gets listed, anytime you speak to somebody who's an owner of a multifamily property, whether it's on market or off market, you're going to want to go tour the property. Okay, call them up. You say, hey, do you mind if I tour the property sometime this week, next week? Love to kind of, tour the property and see if it makes sense for my client. Again, you're going to tour the property. You can pretend like you're the buyer. It does not matter. Just tour a ton of property. Walk it and walk it and walk and walk. I've walked thousands and thousands and thousands of properties in my career. And what that has allowed me to do is that I know exactly what I'm looking for now. I know the bad things that point, to the red flags, right? The red flags that I'm looking for, I can easily spot them now because I've toured so many properties. Point number 2, side note under number 4 here, right? Because there's 2 things. One is walk a lot of property, and number 2 is run a lot of numbers. So you're going to want to run numbers on as many properties as you possibly can. You're going to want to get financials. You're going to want to do some homework, do some digging, and run financials, run a pro forma. You're going to want to run your numbers and analysis on every property you possibly can, because the more practice that you have when it comes to running numbers, the quicker you're going to be able to find out if it's a good deal or not. It's a very simple way to become a very experienced agent very quickly. So every time you run a property, walk a property, you're going to ask for the financials, and then you're going to run numbers on every single property and say, if I was going to buy this, what would I offer? And what you could do is you can go to the investor buyers that you have and you say, hey, just curious to get your thoughts on this. What would you offer? And I'm not saying you're going to offer full price, but what would you offer on this property? What questions do you have about this property? Would you buy this? Why wouldn't you buy this? Ask a lot of questions to your potential clients. It's going to allow you to, basically give your speed track. It's a fast track to success when it comes to commercial real estate, because there's going to be a lot of questions you have to ask, which honestly, just that can bleed into both sides of the coin, residential and commercial. So listen, guys, if you have any questions or anything like that, make sure you put it in the comment section down below. Hope this video helps. And if you are one of those committed agents who is looking to take your life and business to the next level, make sure you schedule a call with my team and I for one of our coaching programs. There's a link in the description down below. Other than that, I love you so much. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.